Yes, so the master material, we have created the material in MM01, right? And
Right.
yeah, we can also change the material master data in MM02, and we can also display the material master data in MM03. Okay. Yeah, so let me go with the change. And what's the material that we defined? This one, 500643, right? That's the material number.
Hmm.
Oh, material type does not exist. Why? OMS2 creates raw material types. And what is the material type we
Mhm.
created? What is the material type we created? You have any idea?
I'm sorry, say again?
Yeah, what's the material type we created? Oh, okay. They have refreshed this server, so this material type we have to create it again. Let me
Uh,
oh, let me see whether our infrastructure is existed or not. Uh-huh. What's our company code? 3435. Yeah, Nestle. Yeah, we had this structure. Okay, so we require to maintain the material master here. Yeah, let us revise the things again. How to maintain the material master. So we'll go for P code MM01, and here you have to leave this field as blank here because we are using the internal number range. And before we maintain the number ranges, yeah, so here also everything was refreshed. So we are creating the material type here. Yeah, so low general material master, yeah, basic settings, material type, and define attributes of material types. Yeah, so we'll select the material type as ROH. This is for raw material, and we just select this one and copy it and create our own material type. For example, ZBRS. This is a raw material for, yeah, ZNRH we have created, right? Okay. So just copy it and paste it. Okay. We can also define the industry sectors here. Field selection. Here you have defined industry sectors here. Now create your own industry sector. Maybe N is not available, so we can go for N. N is for Nestle. Okay, Nestle Industry, and field reference as A, and save it. Now we can create. We have to create the number ranges for the material types, and that we are creating here. Yeah, define number ranges for the material type, and click on this groups button. first maintain a group. Okay, so click on create a group, and for example, Nestle group I'm creating, and I'm using the number. Okay, so 500, yeah, 6412 500 800. Oh, this interval is already existed. So we have to look at the what are the free intervals are there in the system, and with that we have to maintain the intervals here. Yeah, first of all, go to the change intervals here and find out what are the intervals are available here. Oh, so many are there here. So many people are accessing the system and maintaining the number ranges as per their requirement here. Yeah, so it is there. 7012 to 750 is there. Oh, very good. So here you can see 701 to 750 is there. We can use it from 750, the number range. Okay. 7512 900. And yes, it is existed. So now save it. Yeah, so once you save the number ranges, then you have to assign this number range to your material group here. So here you see ZN orange. Select this one. Click on element group. What is the group we created now? The group which we created is the Nestle group. Maybe it's going to be available at the end. Yes, Nestle group. To this group, I am assigning my number ranges here. Yeah, so Nestle group ZN orange, which means what I'm trying to say here. Okay, using this material type, if any material information is maintained in the SAP system, use the number range from 751 to 900 and propose internally. That is the meaning of assigning the group to your material type here. Now you go to the material master and maintain the material master here. MM01. So here we are using the material number, internal number range. So we should leave it as blank. And industry, we have created Nestle industry, and material type, which is we have created as raw material, that is Nestle. Okay, and just press enter, and it will ask to select the views. Okay, so the views are by default, these are the views that are required to maintain the material information here. So basic data one, purchasing and general plan data and accounting view. And once you press enter, it will ask you to select the plant and the storage location where you want to maintain the information about this material. In which plant and in which storage location that you are maintaining the information here. Just go with this one. And as I have already maintained, okay, yeah, so you can give anything here, yeah. And basic unit of measurement is bags, and this material group belongs to N123 and division 35, and the weight of the bag is 25 kgs, and gross weight and net weight also are maintained. Yes, and here you're going to maintain the purchasing group, that is N12, and the purchasing value key. Yes, no problem. And here unit of issue. Oh, someone has made this as mandatory field. Yeah, so it is going to be in kgs. Kgs. So 1 kg. Yeah. Oh, one cotton equal to, I go for bag only, don't go with another one, which may give you some kind of bag. Select the valuation class. So, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, someone has changed this valuation classes. Yeah, whatever it may be, but I should not propose this one. If it is taking this one. So moving average price, maybe 500 US dollars to 700 US dollars. Maintain the information inside it. Okay, so material 751 is created. That's the number range that we have selected, right? Yes. So once the material is created, the same material can be extended to other plants also, which means we have maintained this material information in one of the plant which is located in New York. So the same material is also existed in one more plant which is there in California. So that in that plant also the information about this material should be stored here, which means what we are doing here, we are extending the material to other plants here. So in that case, how do you extend the material to the other plants? And if you extend the material to other plants, what kind of the data that will have the impact here? Okay. So just go with the same T code, that is MM01. Okay. In MM01, give the material number, that is 751, which belongs to the Nestle industry and is the raw material. And the views are going to be the same itself, but here you have to change the plant. Previously we had taken 3435, now we are using 3436. And here the same storage location only we are maintaining here. In this case, the basic data, okay, the basic data is going to be same across the plants. The basic data is going to be same across the plants, but the data that it is getting changed or having impact when we extend the material to other plants is purchasing data. Maybe here the purchasing group may changes here. Okay, that may be N1, 2. Okay, and also here the storage conditions also may changes here. That is also you can maintain here. And here the price may changes with respect to even New York as well as California here. Maybe the price is going to be from 400 to 900. So we can extend the material to other plants, but if we extend the material to other plants, then the data which is going to have an impact is purchasing data and plant data and as well as the accounting data here. The same material we are extending to other plants here. So the same material can also be existed in one more storage location also, or one more store within the plant, you can say. Okay, within the plant, you can have one more store or storage location where this material is also available, which means in that storage location also we have to maintain the information about the material here. So, which means we are extending the material to other storage locations here. In this case also, how do you extend the same material information to other storage locations here? So the same T code MM01 and provide the number here, the material number, and then use the same views, and here you have to change the storage location. So maybe 000002, it is for damaged or finished goods. So finished, it is not a finished good. I am going for one more thing, 3, which is a damaged goods. In the damaged goods also, this material information should be there. so that we are extending to other storage location. When we extend to other storage location, you can see here the message it is giving. The material already exists and will be extended. So here, if you need to change any kind of the storage conditions in the storage location, then you can change it and save it. So the basic data and the purchasing and accounting data is going to be same. Is going to be same when we extend the material from one storage location to another storage location. But when we extend the material, same material to one plant to another plant, then the purchasing data and plant data and accounting data will have impact. The basic data is going to be same across the plants. Okay, and the basic data and purchasing and accounting data is going to be same across the storage location. Okay, this point to be remembered here, Robert. Okay, so yeah, yeah. So when it comes to your maintaining the material master data, we can maintain the material master data centrally as well as at purchasing level. And when you maintain, not centrally, we are going to maintain the data, but when we maintain the data of material, then the same material can be existed in different plants. So we can extend the material information to other plants as well as other storage locations. Are you clear about this thing, Robert?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. You have any
yeah.
questions?
It's coming together. It's coming together.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. 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 Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So now we're going to discuss about one more master data that we are going to maintain in the SAP system. That is vendor master data here. Okay. So vendor master data. So what is vendor master data? So vendor is nothing but who is the supplier for us, who is going to supply the goods for the business. This is called vendor, and what the information about the vendor is going to be maintained in the vendor master data here. This vendor master data is going to be maintained in the SAP system in three levels. Okay, in three levels. That is at client level. Sorry. So at client level, that we are going to maintain the data, and at company core level, that we are going to maintain the data, and at purchasing level, that we are going to maintain the data. So in these three levels, that we are going to maintain the vendor master data in the SAP system here. At the client level, we are going to maintain the information about the vendor in the general data. General data. General data represents to the name of the vendor, okay, the location where he belongs to, and the taxes, the tax numbers, and the contact person from whom we can able to get our orders early as possible, and also the transactions, that means the bank transactions, in which bank account the vendor payment should be credited. So this all kind of the information, just a basic general information about the vendor is maintained in the general data level. And at company core level, we are going to maintain the information about the accounting data. Okay, so accounting data here. So accounting data means which represents to the GL accounts, general ledger accounts here. So if for this vendor, if we do any kind of the transaction, So in which GL accounts the vendor transactions to be updated here. And also the kind of the terms of the payment, that means the cash discounts that the vendor is providing for the business. This information is maintained in the accounting data here. And when it comes to the purchasing level, we are going to maintain the information about your purchasing organization data here. Okay, so what is the purchasing organization that is responsible to interact with this vendor to get our orders? And what are the types of the conditions that the vendor is putting to the business to make an order? Like what is the minimum order value the vendor will accept, and how much time that vendor will take to deliver the goods once the order is confirmed. So this kind of the information that is going to be maintained in the purchasing organization level. So at three levels, client level and company co level and purchasing level, we are going to maintain the data in SAP in this data here: general data, accounting data, and purchasing data. So all these data are belongs to the vendors, and in this, if you are going to maintain, okay, so if you this general data and accounting data and purchasing data in this, the accounting data is maintained by the finance people, okay, and the purchasing organization data is maintained by the people, and the general data is going to be maintained both either finance or both are going to be maintained once they are maintaining the information about the vendor here. And to maintain this vendor master data in the SAP system, okay, to maintain the vendor master data in the SAP system at these three levels, SAP provided three T codes, okay, three flexible ways of maintaining the master data here. So here you can maintain the master data centrally. Centrally means at at client level. Okay, centrally means client level, and we can also maintain at company co level. Okay, at finance level, and we are maintaining the data at purchasing level. So here to maintain the vendor master data and centrally, we are going to make use of the T code XK01. XK01 is to create or maintain the vendor master data centrally at client level. So when we are maintaining the data centrally at client level, we are going to maintain all the three kinds of the data here. Centrally, we are going to maintain here. So at company co level, this is done by the finance people basically, and they are going to maintain the data of your vendor in FK01. FK01. So here in this case, they are going to maintain the data, accounting data, and general data. These two data are going to be maintained in the FK01 here. And in the purchasing data is going to be maintained by the people here. Again, the purchasing data is going to be maintained by the people here. So the people will maintain the information of the material at general data and also the purchasing data. Both the data that are going to be maintained by the people in the T code MK01. Yes. Okay, MK01. There is a T code to maintain the vendor information at purchasing level. So from this, what we have to understand, the vendor master data is maintained in three levels: company client level, company co level, and purchasing level. And at client level, we maintain the general data, and company co level, we maintain the accounting data, and purchasing level, we maintain the purchasing organization data. And to maintain all these three kind of the data, SAP provided provided to maintain the information of the vendors in three T codes XK01, FK01, and MK01. Okay. So in this screens or in these views, how to maintain the vendor master data here. So to maintain the vendor master data, first of all, we need to understand how the vendor is categorized or classified according to the role that the vendor performs in the purchasing process here. For example, Nestle is there. Okay, Nestle is a company which is a business which is making an order, purchasing order to one of its vendor who is supplying the goods. The, can I say Birla Group of Industries, which are supplying the wheat. So this Birla Group of Industries are located. The main head office, okay, the main head office is located at New York. Okay? At New York, the main head office is located. And this Birla Group of Industries are having its branch offices at some other locations of the country, at Texas, okay, and maybe some other location like Florida and some other location like Chicago, for example. So like this, at the different locations, is having the branch offices or go downs or depots where the Birla Group of Industries is keeping the materials here. And it is also having one of its billing section. Okay. It's a billing section at some other location, something called in the same New York City, but it is there in New Jersey, for example. In the some other location, New Jersey, this billing section is there. So this way, the vendor is having its hierarchy in such a way that it's having branch offices somewhere, and the finance division is located in one of the other locations. That is a finance division here, or billing division, we can say. So the Nestle, the business is making the order, okay, making the order to the Birla Group of Industries. So this is going to be called as the main vendor. Is going to be called as main vendor. And once the order is confirmed by this branch head office, then the goods are going to be delivered from any one of these locations. Okay, goods are going to be delivered to the Nestle from any one of these locations. Then these are going to be called as your goods suppliers. Okay, goods suppliers. And once the goods are supplied to Nestle and the invoice to be sent to the business here, the invoice is coming from your billing section. So this billing section is going to be called as your invoice presented by. Who is presenting the invoice here? Invoice presented by. Okay. So he is presenting the invoice to the business here. And also the business is receiving the invoice from here, then the business is going to pay the invoice to this section only. That means he's also going to be called as your alternative payee, we can say. Okay, alternative payee, for whom we are paying the invoice here. And sometimes they may have the goods suppliers from where the branch offices, the goods are going to be delivered to the business. Or this Birla Group of Industries has been given some contract to deliver the goods to the businesses, something like the forwarding agents, okay, or transportation agents, which who are going to transport the goods to the businesses here. So like this, the vendor is going to be classified into different kind of the roles as part of the purchasing process here. So according to the roles they performed in the purchasing process, the SAP has classified and categorized this vendor into these kind of the roles, and these are going to be called as your partner roles. Okay, so they are going to be called as your partner roles. The vendor is also one of the partner of the business who is supplying the goods to us. So according to the vendor, according to the roles that he performing in the purchasing process, the SAP defined that vendor into the different partner roles here. So the vendor is going to be defined as a partner role as VN. VN represents to the main vendor for whom the business is making the order. And GS is going to be the goods supplier for from which branch offices the goods are going to be delivered to the business here. And IP represents to the invoice presented by, and AP represents to the alternative payee, and FA represents to the forwarding agent. So like this, for every role the vendor is performing in the purchasing process, they have defined a partner roles in the SAP system. In some of the vendors, some of the suppliers, they don't have any kind of the branch offices or billing sections. All the operations are going to be done in one single office only. In that case, he is only become the main vendor, as well as he will become the goods supplier and invoice presented by alternative pay and forwarding agent also. If the vendor is having different kind of the different way of roles that he is performing, and he is having this kind of the hierarchy, then we are going to define that vendor into different partner roles. And according to that, we have to maintain all the information of these branch offices and billing sections also. So that we are going to maintain as them as goods suppliers and invoice presented by our alternative pay in the SAP system. They're all the partner roles which are defined in the SAP system as part of the purchasing process that the vendor involved. Are you following me, Robert?
Yes, yes, I am, Rob. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Thank you. That's wonderful. Okay. So, in order to maintain all these informations of the vendor in the SAP system, what is the SAP system is looking for here? First of all, we have to know where we are going to define the vendor master data. As I said, we are going to maintain the vendor master data at three levels, that is client level, company code level, and purchasing level. You can see here in the logistics, okay, so MM and purchasing, and here you see the master data. In this master data, you have the vendor, and you can maintain the two levels, purchasing level and central level. So when I go for central level, the T code is XK01 to create the vendor at centrally. And when we go to the purchasing level, MK01, it is to create the vendor master data, to maintain the vendor master data at purchasing level only. I will show you the difference of the central and purchasing here. First, we'll go to the central and then we'll come to the purchasing here. So in the central, if you select here, so first of all, it is asking the vendor. So the vendor is going to be identified with a unique number, or unique name. Okay. So as a unique number or unique name, the vendor is going to be identified here. For that, what we need to do, we have to create a number range to provide the number for the vendor in order to identify that vendor in the SAP system here. So where we are going to configure the number range for the vendor here. So we have to configure in the SPRO, SPRO, and which is in the IMG. Okay. So here you find Logistics General. Go to here, and here you have business partner and vendors. Here you see control, and here the most important thing is account groups. You can see here it is asking the account group here. What do you mean by account group? So account group is something like it is equivalent to the your material type here. So why the account group is needed here? Because we are maintaining the vendor master data in general data and accounting data and purchasing data. So whenever we maintain the vendor master data in these three levels, then what kind of the information which is mandatory, which is required, which is optional, which is displayed, which is suppressed. So that kind of the controlling all the fields and the screens of your vendor master data, that is going to be done by your account group. Like in the same way, how the material type is going to control or it is going to show only the user departments which are allowed to maintain the material information. In the same way, the account group here controls what are the fields and the screens which are necessary, optional, and display and suppressed. Okay, and suppressed. So that is going to be controlled by the account group here, by the account group. And also it is going to control the number range, whether it is internal or external, how exactly the material type controls in the material information, material master data. The same way in the vendor master data, the account group will control the field selection as well as it controls the number assignment here. So in order to define the number ranges for the different kind of the account groups as part of the partner roles. Okay, so the main vendor is there. The main vendor, the standard account group where we are going to maintain this main vendor information is 4001. This is for main vendor. And 0002, these are all standard here. And this is 0003 and 0004 and 0005. These are all the standard account groups which are there in the SAP system to provide the information of these vendor roles in the SAP system here. So the SAP provided, these are the standard account groups here. I'm just updating the display of your IMG so that I can able to see the T code for each and every navigation that we open here. So the T code is here OMSG. The last four letters will display the T code. OMSG here, and define account groups and field selection. You can see here 0001, this is vendor. Someone has been deleted all the very, very bad. Yeah, someone is deleted all the account groups here. But we do have the standard account groups 0001, 0002, 0003, and 4 and 5. These are the 5 account groups that we are having here. So what we need to do is we need to select one of the 0001 account group and click on copy as. Here you can see how many levels that we are going to maintain: general data, company code data, and purchasing data. And click on this purchasing data and see in the general data we are going to maintain the information about the address, communication, payment transactions, and contact person. In the address tab you can see what are the fields which are optional, which are mandatory. In this way that you can able to control the fields and the screens of your vendor master data using the account group here. So we are trying to change the things here. We are making name one as required entry, and this one is also required entry here, and also so country is also required entry making. Yeah, so these three are the required entries that I am making here. Now you can save it out. An entry already existed. I'm creating one more account group ZN01, and here I'm changing it is a Nestle So it is a Nestle vendor group. Okay, so Nestle vendor group that I'm creating and save it. Okay. So once you save the information here, then you have to create the number ranges for your vendor master records here. OMSJ, that's the T code. So click on this intervals and maintain the intervals which are free. 41 to 50 is there here. So I can use it from 51. So I'm trying to create one number range here, ZN, which is from 51 to 200. Oh, it is overlap. Someone used the same number. So 3007002, 300799. I'm using ZN 300800 to 300950, for example. Oh, ZN is already existed. Oh, oh, oh. Where is ZN? Yeah, 51 to 200. So here 300 800. Yes, this number range is not existent, so I'm using 300 800 to 950. And if I select this box, it is an external number range. I'm not selecting this box because I want to make use of internal number range for the vendor master data maintenance here. Now save the data, back, and click on this number range and assign this number range to your account group. My account group is ZN01. So for this, I'm assigning the number range ZN, which means whenever I'm creating a vendor using the account group ZN01, then assign the number from the number range ZN, that is 750, 800 to 950. That is the meaning of this one here. So we are linking each and everything here so that whenever the user wants to maintain the information about the vendor, what he is going to do, he will go to this T code XK01, and what he is going to do, first we have to leave this field as a blank here because we are making use of the internal number range here. So, and we know what is my company code, it is 3435, and what is my purchasing organization, it is also 3435, and my account group, that is ZN01. Okay, so ZN01. So you have to maintain this information here. Already we have created the structure of the enterprise like company code and purchasing organization. And now we have created the account group and we assign the number ranges to that account group here. So once you assign here, now we need to define what are the partner roles which can be defined, which can be maintained using of the account group ZN01 here. For that, you should go to the MM here. Okay, so go to the MM and purchasing. The purchasing at the end of the screen, you can see the partner determination here. You open the partner determination, and in the partner roles, you can see define permissible partner roles per account group. That is OMZ3. Just enter here, go to here, and click on new entries. And what is the partner function for main vendor? VN, and the group where we are maintaining in the ZN01. You can see here, the vendor is maintained, the main vendor is maintained in the account group ZN01. And when the main vendor information is maintained using the account group ZN01, Then assign the number range from the number range ZN, that is 800 to 950, 300 800 to 950. Save this configuration. Now go to the XK01 and maintain the information of the vendor here. Okay, so let this fill as a blank 3435 purchasing organization and ZN01. Press enter. You can see the vendor number is taken as internal. So that means the internal number is we have used it. So it will propose the number from that number range which we have defined here. You can able to see here what are the fields which are mandatory here, whatever I have selected. The name I have selected mandatory, search term I have selected mandatory, country is mandatory. So all the mandatory fields are going to have the symbol of this right symbol. Okay, so that right mark, so that these fields are mandatory and other fields are optional. If the user forget to enter the optional fields also, the system will continue for further to enter some other information here. But if any user is missed out the mandatory field, then automatically the system will alert the user to maintain the same information. So here I am creating a one vendor here. It is a Birla group of industry, for example, and my search term is Birla, and it's located in some house number and everything that you can give it out. And city is going to be New York, for example, and country is in US, and the region is the states. Okay, so the states are going to be New York is my state here. I have to select the same New York. And it is asking other country, US only. Once you maintain all this information, just you press enter. It will take you to the next screen. Yeah, in this screen, you're going to maintain the information about the tax information and yeah, so information about the tax information and in this screen, all the fields are optional. You don't need to enter. And here you have maintaining the payment transactions like bank account and the account holder name and payment codes, who is the alternative payee. Okay, so these are all the numbers that you are going to enter if you are having. All our fields are optional here. And here you maintain the contact person, his visiting hours, was the name of the contact person, telephone number and his designation, in which department he is working and what is the role he is performing. This is all the information about the contact person at Birla Group vendor that we are maintaining here. So, and now we are maintaining the company code data here. The very first thing is here, reconciliation account. Reconciliation account is the one of the main GL account which is getting updated with the sub-ledger GL accounts. And as we copied our company code from the 1000, that is standard, for the 1000 standard, the reconciliation account to release the funds for the vendors is 1,65,000. This is the main GL account which is getting updated with all the sub-ledger GL accounts here. And you have one more thing, cash management group, like whether the it is one of the division that is there in the finance, which is going to handle the payments and like receivables as well as payments. In which currency they need to monitor here. That is going to be defined as a cash management group. And basically, this information is maintained by the finance people, not by the MM people here. For us, we are going to define the cash management group as A1, which is domestic. And then here it is asking payment terms. Payment terms means the terms of payment here, like the kind of the cash discounts the vendor is providing to the business. If the business is going to pay the bill within the stipulated time, that is within the grace period here. So that information that we are going to maintain here. So basically, I'm selecting 0002 here, which means if the vendor pays within 14 days, he will get If the business pay to the vendor within 14 days, he will get the 3% cash discount. If the business pays within the 20 days, 30 days, 2% of cash discount. Okay. And if the vendor exceeds the 30 days, then within the 45 days, he is to pay the junior. That means the vendor is giving the grace period of 45 days to pay the invoice. But within that 45 days also, if the business pays within 10 days or 20 days and 30 days, also the vendor is providing some discount here that you select here. Are you there, vendor? Robert? Are you able to follow me, Robert? Yes, Robert. Yeah, hello.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I lost you.
Yeah, yeah, some network has been lost. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you able to
All
follow
right.
me?
Yes, yes, I'm doing my best.
Yes, yes.
Doing my
Yeah.
best.
Are you getting the things, whatever I'm discussing here?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm writing it down too.
Hmm.
So,
Okay. Yeah. Hello, Robert.
oh, hello.
Yeah, hello.
There
Hello.
you are. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He was out for a while.
yeah.
Okay. You bet.
Yeah, so I was also keep on calling you from here, but maybe someday. Okay. Anyway, yeah, are you able to
Okay.
follow me, right?
Yes, yes. Carry on. Carry
Yes,
on.
yes, yes. So I'm trying to enter the things again because some disconnected here. So reconciliation account and cash management group you have maintained, and payment terms something like 002 I have selected here. And here you have one more indicated check double invoice. Check double invoice is nothing but if for the same purchase order, if the billing executive is raising one more, if the billing executive is raising one more, yeah. So check double invoice. Okay, check double invoice is nothing but if uh, the business the billing executive is creating the invoice for the same purchase order uh, again and again, then the system has to alert that already this purchase order is invoiced. Okay, so if you want to get that kind of the alert for the invoice creation, okay, for the invoice creation, then you have to select this box. if you select this box, then if the billing executive is creating the uh, invoice two times, so then the system is going to alert that vendor, okay, that user, that already the invoice document is created for the same purchase order. Okay. So here we are not going to maintain any kind of the data. Now we have the purchasing data here. The purchasing data, in which currency the vendor is going to accept the data, accept the orders, that is USD. And terms of payment already we have maintained here, 0002, which is something like kind of the discounts that he is providing here. And Incoterms is nothing but international commercial terms, which are going to provide that hmm, the cost and freight, the transportation charges of the material that they are going to, or the vendor is going to provide on the business here. So that we are going to define with the Incoterms. These are all standard Incoterms. CFR. CFR represents to the cost and freight. The cost of the material and the freight charges also will be taken care by the business only. Something like insured freight fee. Freight fee means it is insured, but the transportation charges are free here. So like that, depending upon the business requirement, you have to select the Incoterms here. And you have the minimum order value here. That means if the order value is minimum, something like 1,000 US dollars, so then only or 10,000 US dollars, then only the vendor is going to accept the purchase orders here. And we have one more kind of the integrate checkpoint here, checkbox here, that is the goods receipt based invoice verification, which means once the goods are received and posted to the system, then only the invoice is going to be created. Without receiving the goods from the vendor, the invoice should not be created or raised by the billing executive in the billing section here. So to control that, we have to select this checkbox. Then what is going to happen? Once the goods are posted into the system, then only the billing executive will be allowed to create a invoice verification with respect to that purchase order. And what are the purchasing group which is going to uh, handle this vendor here, and how much time the vendor is going to take to deliver the goods once he confirms the delivery here, once he confirms the order here. Now maintain all this information and press enter. Here it is internal, should accept. Okay, BN, and it is internal. Yes. Okay, so we are maintaining the partner function, and the number is we're taking as an internal numbering, and now you save the data here. So the vendor is created, 300800 has been created for company code 3435, purchasing organization 3535. So like this way that you need to create the vendor master data, and you have to maintain the information of the vendor in different screens. And this all the information that have been provided in the document, and this document I am going to send you, okay, after this session. So here you can see vendor master data. Yeah, so what are the vendor master data key points is there? First of all, this is the vendor master data, enterprise main source of vendor specific data. This data will include the information on vendors from which company can procure or can sell. Will contain the information like vendor's name and address, and we are maintaining the vendor data in general accounting and purchasing data. And the vendor account group, it is going to be categorized according to the requirements of the vendors, which are grouped together and placed into one category. all the local vendors can be placed into one account group, and foreign vendors are going to be placed into one account group. So like that we can define. And the path also I have given where we can able to define the vendor account group and the number range, how to define here. Okay, you can follow these steps and you can able to maintain the number ranges and assignment of number ranges. And once you enter into the, after creating the number ranges and account group, then you have to create the vendor master data here. This is the path where you can able to create the vendor master data centrally. Okay, fill in all the required fields like company code, purchasing, and vendor, and save the data. And one more document is also there, that is vendor. This document is also I'm going to send you here. So I have given here vendor master data, account group controls. Number range it is assigned, internal or external, and we define the account groups, and we are going to maintain the vendor master data here. Okay. So what are the key fields are there and how to maintain those vendor master data. So like that, I have explained you here what are the vendor master data and how to maintain that partner roles within the vendor master data here. And creating the vendor master data, and also at purchasing level as well as at company code level, as well as at extending the same vendor to the your company code level also. So these are all the tables where exactly the vendor master data is going to be available, and these tables are going to be accessed with the T code SE16. When you go for SE16 here, the T code SE16, so it will ask the table name. Okay, so for example LFA1, and here it is asking the vendor number. LIFNR, this is the technical name for the vendor number here. For example, I want to see the data of 300800. This is the vendor information that I want to see. And when you execute, see, you can see the vendor number, the name, the country he belongs to, the city he belongs to, whatever the information that we have maintained in those screens, that information is going to be updated to this table, LFA1. That is to maintain the data in general level. Okay, so general data. If you want to see the company code data, then go to LFD1. And if you want to see the purchasing data, go to LFM1. So like this way that you are going to maintain the vendor master data here. So when we are maintaining the vendor master data, we have maintained in one purchasing organization 3435. The same vendor can also be existed in one more purchasing organization, that is 3436. In that case, go to the same T code and provide the material vendor number, okay, and extend it. You have to change the purchasing organization here 3436 and the same account group. But here, when we extend the vendor to other purchasing organization, the only the purchasing data will have the impact here. Maybe in that purchasing organization, the order currency may differ, or terms of payment may differ here, and the Incoterms may differ here, and the minimum order value is also going to be different here, 30,000, and all other things may be same. And here the one more purchasing group may be accepted here, and maybe it takes 8 days here. Previously it is taking 6 days, but to this purchasing organization, if the vendor wants to deliver the goods, so then the planned delivery time is going to be taken as 8 days. So now you maintain the vendor function and use the same number 300800 and save it. So this is a way also that you can extend. See here, this vendor is we created for purchasing organization 3436. Okay, so this is a way that you can able to extend the vendor to other purchasing organization. If you extend the vendor to other purchasing organization, then the purchasing data only will have the impact. The purchasing data will have the purchasing data only will have the impact, and all other data is going to be the same. Like basic data and company code data is going to be the same here. Okay. So I advise and I suggest you to create at least a minimum 3 to 4 vendors for your hands-on with the purchasing and procurement processes here. Okay, are you clear?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So this Sunday, what you are going to do is, whenever you get a time, try to do hands-on from the enterprise structure and material master data and vendor master data, and try to work with these master data and making sure that
All right.
you have completely done these hands-on with these master data. And the
Okay.
documents I will send you, follow the documents and maintain the information of this material as well as vendor. Okay, are you clear?
All right.
All right. Yes. Yeah. So we'll see you on Monday.
Yep. Yep. All good.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay. On
yeah.
Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. On Monday, our regular time, not at this time, at our regular time that we'll see. So that is
Oh,
for
okay.
your 11:30. Okay, 11:30 a.m.
That's
Yeah, we'll see
close.
at 10:30 a.m. only. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, from
All
Monday
righty.
onwards, we'll have the same timing. That is 10:30 a.m. only. That we meet and we'll be discussing the things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me do some practicing here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure, sure,
Yeah.
Robert.
Keep going
Okay.
through all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yes, you have to do some
Sounds good.
practice. Very good.
Mm.
You have to do some more hands-on with all this. Actually,
Yeah.
these things are very basic things. So first, if you are comfortable and if you are clear about these basic things, then when we enter into the procurement process, at the time you don't feel the difficulty in understanding the process. Okay.
Mm.
So tomorrow you have the assignment to do hands-on with this master data, and in the next class we are going to see one more master data that is info record. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
Robert.
Sounds good, Robert.
Yeah. All right, Robert. And have a great day and have a happy Sunday.
All right. Okay, man. Have a good one.
Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah,
your help.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Take care
Okay.
of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Uh-huh.